Hello again. I'm sure that I cannot be the only one to notice lately that simply using the wrong words can result in people being sent to prison. Lucy Connolly and Alex Belfield both ended up in prison simply for saying the wrong thing. This is a very strange and alarming development in Britain, but it's been coming for some while. I was prompted to think about this because one of the supposed victims of Alex Belfield cropped up when I was using X or Twitter as it is now known. Her name is Liz Green, and although she accused Belfield of stalking her, the jury acquitted him of this charge. But what actually was he accused of doing? It must have been pretty serious because in an interview with the Guardian newspaper 10 days ago, she wrote that, and I quote, "I was suicidal. It made me very ill. My hair fell out. I withdrew from the world for a while. I had therapy and I'm just about now coming out of the other end. I'm quite heavily medicated." What on earth was he doing, you ask? Well, he was saying horrible things about her. Not threatening her, you understand, but just being rude. In an interview with the Daily Mail, we read that Miss Green says that she was called ugly, old, boring transvestite by Belfield. I find this interesting because I myself have been called all these things in a systematic campaign of harassment on the internet, but it hasn't caused my hair to fall out or for me to need medication. Of course, my hair has fallen out, but that's not as a result of people being rude about me. For instance, there are a number of YouTube channels devoted to saying this kind of thing about me, one of which has posted no fewer than 87 videos featuring my photograph and name and calling me old and boring, among other things. That's what the internet is like. It's full of loonies. This ties in with a telephone conversation which I overheard on the train back to London yesterday. It was a teacher discussing with a colleague what she ought to do about some teenage girls laughing and joking about people's clothes. I gather that the school has recently acquired some Arab pupils, daughters of refugees, and so they organised a session to explain to some other girls at the school why these particular girls were wearing hijabs. Of course, being idiotic teenagers, they were apparently laughing about the subject and making jokes, which has angered the staff at the school. The woman near me in the railway carriage said something which I found quite extraordinary. She said of the girls wearing hijabs, "I just want to keep them safe." Not safe from physical violence, you understand, or the threat of anything harming them, but safe from people saying silly things about or laughing at their clothes. This is so peculiar that I can hardly make any sense of it. People making fun of your clothes is not dangerous to you. It doesn't make you unsafe. This teacher was very much in tune with the spirit of the age, of course, in talking about keeping people safe. But actually, somebody poking fun at you for the way you dress doesn't make you unsafe. People have made all kinds of remarks about my own clothes, both in this comments on this chat and elsewhere. I've been told that I look scruffy, that I'm not showing respect for my audience by appearing in cardigans that are falling apart and old T-shirts like this one. It has been said that I look like an old tramp, or as though I buy my clothes from an odd shop. If only they knew. All this is quite true, and my wife constantly berates me for my appearance, but none of it makes me unsafe. If I don't want people to make tracks of this kind, perhaps I should stop dressing like a fleet victim. It is this attitude that words alone can make people unsafe or make their hair fall out and so on that is now a fixed belief in the minds of many people in this country. It was a few unguarded words that Lucy Connolly spoke, which ended with her being sent to prison. It is for supposedly harmful words that the police are now arresting people and bringing them to court. In the great majority of cases, these words are likely only to cause upset or offence. They're not dangerous in themselves. The increasingly held view, though, is that words are in some sense almost as dangerous as knives and guns, and that it is words which should be the primary focus of activity for the authorities, often words spoken on the internet. We should all keep a weather eye on this trend because it is censorship approaching us in the guise of being kind and caring about the feelings of others.